Representative Marsh.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I spent last Saturday evening standing and weeping with several hundred of my Ashen neighbors as we mourned the death of Talesian Mirden Namkai Meche. Talesian was stabbed to death on Friday, May 26th, when he and several other passengers on the late afternoon MAX train tried to intervene with a madman who was shouting racial slurs and anti-Muslim threats at two teenage girls. Tilly was 23 years old, a son, a brother, a friend, an Ashen kid, raised right, and building a life for himself in Portland. Also slain that night was Ricky John Best, aged 53, a resident of Happy Valley. A third Good Samaritan, Micah David Cole Fletcher, a 21-year-old music student and poet, survived the attack. Quickly, the Memorial Day holiday, intended to be a time of contemplation for the sacrifices of men and women in our military, plunged us into despair and forced us to consider another kind of hero: everyday champions willing to interrupt the course of a routine train ride to confront hate and deny intimidation. Simply said, to do the right thing. But how do we cope when standing up to hatred exacts such an inconceivable price? How do we move forward when the world we live in right now seems intent on defining us by our differences, sowing fear, and building barriers? Even in their anguish, Tilly's family shared their own answer. In a letter to the community, they wrote these words: Talesian Mirden lived a joyous and full life. We lost him in a senseless act that brought close to home the insidious rift of prejudice and intolerance that is too familiar, too common. He was resolute in his conduct and respect of all people. In his final act of bravery, he held true to what he believed is the way forward. He will live in our hearts forever as the just, brave, loving, hilarious, and beautiful soul he was. We ask that in honor of his memory, we use this tragedy as an opportunity for reflection and change. We choose love. May we find the grace to follow that path. Thank you, friends.